Morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm here live with Kate. Kate is my neighbor and friend and my moderator. She'll be over here on her laptop helping to moderate and keep this show family friendly along with my other moderators who do a wonderful job. I'm not sure who all is here yet, but We Tree Bonsai and typically Ronald and Eystein. They also are moderators to help keep the show fun and friendly. This is the Saturday morning live show here on the Daddy Curbs farm with Blake Kirby, that's me, and typically with Kate. She's here live with me very often. Occasionally she moderates from home, but we are very fortunate when she gets to be here with us live. So first and foremost, happy birthday, Sasha. It's good to have a birthday and feel special, and I'm glad that you're here with us this morning. So we have lots of stuff to talk about, and I'm not sure how organized my thoughts will be, but you're here, I'm here, and we're just going to have a good time. I will say that the live shows are an interesting thing. I'm learning to truly love being here with you on Saturday mornings. When I first started doing live shows way back, I was a little stressed and nervous and felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I just feel a little better about it now. And the community was building, and I wasn't sure how all that was going to work. It's kind of funny in the YouTube statistics. I lose subscribers when I do live shows, but I build community. And the truth is, subscribers really don't do anything for me. It is the community that does everything for me. It helps me just feel like it's worth being here because you guys are here and you value the content, you value each other, and you encourage me. So thank you very much for being here this morning. And we will answer those questions. Xavier, how are the bees? And how is Luke? Those are the two common questions. And I want to start right out this morning. It's a little bit... Let me clean my camera off. It looks like it might be a little fuzzy. There, that's a little better. This week, actually, yesterday, we got the very first card in our new P.O. box, and this was addressed to Luke and I. Very special couple, followers and friends, sent a card to the P.O. box and with a letter addressed to Luke and I. And it was just a lot of fun reading that and getting that. And Luke was, as long as you don't spit. I do spit sometimes, sorry. Oh, you spit. I thought you were noticing me spit when I was talking. If I ever do, I apologize.
If it gets bad, we'll get an umbrella.
You're sitting on that side, so you're safe.
I am, but they're not.
All right. So thank you very much to the couple who sent this card to us. It was a true blessing, and Luke thoroughly enjoyed me reading this to him. When it mentions his name and it addresses him directly, he really enjoyed that. So thank you very much. By the way, the P.O. box is available if you guys want to send any love to Luke or anything else to us here at the farm. It would be
We've already got it posted.
Just appreciated because it's nice getting stuff in the mail. So, yeah. Okay. I'm not going to go back and see who all is here this morning because I want to just get started. Maybe later we'll go through and say hello to many people, or just as you pop up, I'll say hello. The pizza oven, by the way, that was sitting in my driveway for the last couple years, a year and a half or so, is being loaded and back to its home. It belongs to Todd and Candace. You've seen us do the live show over at their place. They're picking it up right now, and they're going to take that back over there. So if we want pizza in the pizza oven, we're going to have to go visit them, which is fine because they're fun to visit. And I'm drinking plenty of coffee because I woke up late and a little groggy this morning. Look at, can I use your mug for a second?
Certainly.
Look at the difference. I have completely wore out my sticker. Kate still looks really nice.
And it gets washed twice a day.
I must be using some very harsh detergents.
I guess so.
All right. So what are we going to talk about? The title to this show, and the titles to the shows, by the way, don't always mean a whole lot, because really the Saturday morning shows are just us getting together and chatting, and it could be about anything. But this morning, as I was sitting here writing notes, getting ready for the show, I said, "Hey, Kate, what are we going to title this show?" And she said, "It's wet out here." It is. It rained a whole lot this past week. All the swales got full, and the ducks were having a beautiful time. So I decided to walk over and take a picture of the swale that still has a little bit of water in it. And I imagine that over the next couple weeks, everything, all the growth, all the green here on the farm is going to explode, because in the springtime, when we get a good rain, everything takes off. So the little orchard garden, the Back to Eden style garden that's up in the orchard, that's in that carport structure, it's not in the orchard, it's to the left of the orchard, is planted with cucumbers and cantaloupe and green beans, Apios americana. I moved some of those up there, 2 chaya plants, and 8 tomato plants. So all of those things up in that space should hopefully just take off over the next couple weeks, and I'm really excited to see that happen. Watching the garden grow is, for my kids, they think it's extremely boring. Like, they don't understand how that could possibly be fun. But for me, it really is. It really is a lot of fun to get out there and see all of those little things that I've planted, and how are they developing, which ones are germinating, which ones not. One of my favorite things is to see that little tiny seedling pop out of the soil for the very first time. Seeing the soil separate and that little plant come out of there. That's very exciting for me. So I noticed up in the orchard garden, I call it the orchard garden, is the cantaloupe and the green beans and the, what did I say else was up there? Cucumbers. All of those things are, this past week, started to sprout up. I tried to put a little water on them to get them started, and several of them took. So after this rain, I imagine they're going to have a lot of growth, and I'm really excited about that. All right. I see Trish said challenge. I can't ignore the word challenge. Grab a piece of paper right now and write a quick note to say, oh, that's very nice. It wasn't to me. It was to everyone else. Thank you very much. And let's see. I don't want to miss stuff. I don't want to just chat and miss everything. Yeah, we're both wearing sweatshirts. I see Kate typing about the temperature. We both were out this morning without our sweatshirts. And we're like, we looked at each other and we thought, yeah, maybe we need to grab our sweatshirts, because it's right on the line. It's very nice, very comfortable out here, but it's just enough cool that here in Texas, Texans, our thin blood Texans, we got to put our sweatshirts on. Probably my Norwegian family would be out here in shorts and t-shirts and loving it. All right, man, I missed a whole lot. Okay, I don't know what Ronald's talking about, but Ronald, you crack me up every time. Simple things for simple minds. Oh, it's probably because of the plants, the seeds. Yeah, simple things for simple minds. That's okay. I can handle it. All right. So the Greenstock Garden, by the way, I am wearing their shirt again this week. In the if you're following my Instagram, you probably noticed a lot of growth on that Greenstock. The lettuce was coming out beautifully, and then we got that heavy rain, and the lettuce all just kind of drooped over the edges. So I let it dry off a little bit, and the next day I went out and harvested a whole big bunch of it, and we had some wonderful salads from the garden. So I put a little bit of the fresh cilantro in my salad, and some tomato. That wasn't from the garden because that's not ready yet, but it was a good salad. Fresh lettuce is wonderful. All right. Excuse me, I still have a little something. I don't know what's going on there. All right. Hey, Tim, good morning. I see you there. Tim, I think I saw on Facebook you made it back to Texas. I'm glad the trip went,
Squirrel
hopefully.
alert.
Squirrel? Wait,
Squirrel
what?
alert.
Squirrel? I hope your trip went well, Tim, and you're comfortable here back at home in Texas. There it is, the first squirrel, John Halfnecker. Halfy is in with a $10 super chat supporting the creative efforts here on the Daddy Curves Farm. Thank you very much. I do...
for Luke's French Fry Fund.
Oh, well, of course. Of course. We can manage getting him plenty of French fries and whatever else he wants. Every day he has a little bit of... His favorite ice cream is chocolate chip mint from... What's the company? It's a pink container. Baskin Robbins. Baskin Robbins. The brand Baskin Robbins chocolate chip mint. That's his favorite ice cream. He asked for he calls it green ice cream. And if we give him ice cream that's not that, he looks at us weird like, wait a minute, I asked for ice cream. This is not it. But yeah, so your French fry funds may fund some ice cream as well, because the only size that they sell at the local grocery here in Texas, it's H-E-B, and it's a pint maybe, I don't know, it's a small one, and it's $3. So and every day it probably takes him 2 or 3 days to finish one of those, but he gets a little bit of that every day, and he loves that. So your French fry fund money may fund some ice cream. All right. The Nectar Bar showed up. Hey, Drake. Drake, you're going to have to come check out the butterfly garden, because it is a Japanese beetle in my throat. Ronald. Drake is going to have to come check out my butterfly garden, because it is looking nice. We may have lost one plant. I don't know. But everything else... Most everything appears to be doing well. Of course, I don't know about the milkweed yet, because it's not coming up. But everything looks really, really nice. And you're going to have to come check that out. Luke is the French fry king. He does know his French fries. We went to... What's the place? Red Robin. They do the unlimited French fries. And we asked for... crunchy French fries, but not too crunchy, because Luke, there's a special range of crunchiness that is special for Luke, and they came out too crunchy, and he said, not having it. So we had to get more French fries. But at Red Robin, it's unlimited. They just keep bringing them. So
I like their never-ending onion rings, not the big fat rings, but the little tiny string ones.
Oh, okay. I haven't had those.
Oh, they're awesome.
I'll have to try them out.
But I love onions, so.
Yeah. We don't get out often, but it is fun to try some of those things every once in a while. The Music Well. Ice cream is good. Did we confirm the Music Well? Is that who we were talking about?
I did not.
Okay, I don't want to talk about people behind your back. I do sometimes. Me and Kate, we talk about you guys. But somebody sent to Kate some plants, and we were trying to figure out and remember. She knows the actual name, but the screen name is that the Music Well. So if you sent Kate some plants, show up here in the chat so we can know if we're right or not, if we're talking about the right person. All right.
She sent seeds, not plants.
Oh, okay, so seeds to Kate?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody else sent the plants, and we'll figure it out. I don't know who it is. Lots of seeds. Wonderful. Good. Good. He, not a she. Sorry.
Sorry. I knew that. I don't know why I said she.
Because I think the person who sent the plants was a she.
Is a she, yes.
Yes, okay. All right. You know, it's not easy remembering who you guys are by your screen names. I am typically not very good with names anyway. I try really, really, really hard to remember the people in this community. But remembering your screen name next to an icon is one thing, but remembering who you are with a face, an actual person, I don't get to do that in most cases. because I just never get to know who you are. But all right, so Happy is pipe. He wants everyone to know he's a he. Happy's a he. All right. So if you want to just tell me if you're a he or a she, or any other preferred gender, I don't know.
So is mine, Paul.
All right.
Says his screen name is easy. So is mine.
Paul, yeah, screen names, many times the screen names like Paul Otis, who, by the way, has a wonderful beekeeping channel.
Yes.
And you can go check out his channel and help him get over that 1,000 subscriber mark and give him lots of watch time so he can get over that 4,000 hour watch time mark to help Paul Otis become able on YouTube to monetize his channel, because that's the new standard now on YouTube. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours within the last 12 months of watch time. So head over to Paul Otis, check out his squirrel ice cream fun. Thank you, Ronald. Head over to Paul Otis and check out his channel and help him get over that threshold so that he can be among the monetized YouTubers. Tim, I know who you are. Hey, Ronald, thank you very much for supporting. You are truly a great supporter of the Daddy Curbs farm and of Luke. I appreciate you very much. Tim, you are in Texas, right? Did I miss that? All right, yeah, wait until after the live show. Paul Otis is saying, you know, go ahead and head over to Paul Otis's channel after the live show. I don't want to see the numbers drop out here. We need to continue building this live show, this community. So it is a lot of fun watching. Hey, good. I see Tim made it back to Texas. I'm glad you made that trip. I'm glad you made it back safely and back at home comfortable. Well, I'm assuming you're comfortable. I hope you're comfortable. All right.
Stacy's home, he says.
Stacy is home. Good. Good morning, Liz. Happy is having cataract surgery next Friday. Prayers and well wishes for Happy for next Friday. All right, so there's a few things on my note list. I did write some notes. One of our community members, Brooke Chilvers, left a comment on a video for me, which I value very much. Thank you very much. About Maggie's halter, the face, what do they call it? Just the face halter, headgear on Maggie in one of the videos about it not fitting correctly. So because you pointed that out, I get to go and look that up and make sure that we are doing what is appropriate for Maggie. And I appreciate that very much. Let me see if I can get a view here. You can see, again, my kayak in the background. I haven't put that away yet. Sorry. So I do want to say that I appreciate your comments. When you guys leave your comments on the videos about maybe something I'm doing differently or a little incorrect or whatever, I really do value that, and I appreciate that. Of course, I value it when it's positive, and most of you in your comments are very positive. So, all right, next on the list, I wanted to point that out because I don't always get a chance to make a comment back on the videos. A lot of times I get a lot of comments and messages, and I have to now, because my time is extremely divided up. I'm not making as many comments on as many replies on the comments on the videos as I used to, because there's just so many comments and personal messages that I get that it's hard to keep up with everything. So I wanted to make sure that you guys know that I do read those, and I do value the community and the help that you guys are giving me, the encouragement and the help, the tips that you guys provide to me. So thank you very much. And also, I value the squirrels, the super chats, and the Patreon patrons every month giving us a small donation to the creative efforts here on the Daddy Curbs farm. And yes, let me interrupt myself. Yes, Nectar Bar Drake, you can ask a Steam-It question, and I will try to answer it. But back to what was I talking about? Oh, Patreon patrons. See, the squirrels are terrible. You guys are helping me every month to make in time to make this sustainable, the creative effort sustainable. My goal, and I want to just be upfront, is to someday be able to create every day, which means that I need to have an income from the things that I create, or some other income, rather than going to a 9-to-5 job. And the Patreon patrons are doing that, and every month what you're helping me do is to have a little bit of income that can supplement some of the things that help me provide a better show for you, whether it be camera equipment or garden tools or whatever. And this past week I got to purchase a meat. See, I'm thinking about meat because I gave up meat a little while ago. But a leaf mulcher. When you say leaf mulcher without thinking about it, it comes out like meat. I don't know why. But I bought a leaf mulcher from Amazon, and I have so many leaves right now because I'm picking up leaves that people are putting on the curb. Because in Texas, in the springtime, we have a massive leaf drop, especially from the live oak trees, and people just rake those up and put them on the curb. Well, I hate to see them go to the dump, so I pick them up and bring them home. But I have so many right now. I have actually let a lot of them sit on the curbs. There was one place that had probably 50 bags, and I couldn't bring them home. I wanted to, but I couldn't because I already have probably 40 bags sitting here, and I've already dumped out at least 20 bags. Mostly I'm just dumping them out into the goat chicken run to help build that soil to eventually, as the chickens scratch and manure and the goats run around and manure, and there's lots of carbon on the ground, that soil is going to be extremely fertile, and in time I would be able to use that soil in that run, just pull back some of that carbon and get a little bit when I need it for potting soil or whatever. Sort of a broad scale, massive, continuous composting action. So I'm putting lots and lots of leaves inside that area. But I also want some that I can put in compost piles or to use as mulch around other plants. And I would like the leaves to be smaller. So I need a way to mulch them up. And this electric mulcher was, I don't know, around $100 on Amazon. And there hopefully will be a video of me using it and showing it. But for now, I just want to say thank you very much to those who support the efforts here financially, because that helps me to get those things, to do the chores, and to provide content for you guys. So thank you very much. But it did get me another job, because now I got to get out there and mulch a bunch of leaves. As Kate said last time, I bought myself a job. Mm-hmm. All right. So the question, the Steam It question, did I miss it?
Xavier was wondering who had Steam It, and Sandy directed him to the Fanily post about Steam It.
Right, good. Okay, and also Drake had a Steam It question, but also Renato says, are you going vegan? No, I'm not.
I answered that.
Oh, okay. I am still eating eggs and cheese and occasionally fish, but we have mostly in our house, given up all other meats. A long time ago, we gave up beef and pork. We haven't had beef or pork in our house for a very long time, years. But we were eating chicken, especially, obviously, when we were raising and butchering chickens, we were eating chicken. But that kind of got to a point where none of us absolutely craved having it. I initially did it because it's kind of the homesteady. Ooh, who's talking? One of the roosters. That's kind of the homesteady thing to do, and I just did it. Kind of like it's just one of those things that homesteaders do. And I don't like the butchering process. I got good at it. I can butcher a chicken pretty quickly now and make it nice and clean and put it in the freezer, and it looks beautiful. Tastes great. But I don't like the butchering process. And I figure if we can live without it, why do it? So we haven't raised a meat chicken for quite some time. We have no meat chickens in the freezer any longer. And so we have given up most meat. I can't say 100%. But we are making bean burgers, black bean burgers, and those are fantastic. And we are also eating a lot of things like lentil soup with rice and things like that. It's fantastic. We love it. So yeah, we're not your perfect vegetarians or perfect, certainly not vegans, but we are trying to live a little better, trying to respect the nature that we have and not just do things just because people do things. And yeah, so that's where we are right now with eating meat here in the house. Time to Sow says, I'm a leaf thief too. Yeah, I steal a bunch of leaves. Usually when they're already bagged. I don't go into people's backyards. Always, not just usually. Yeah, so Kate explained that I'm joining my daughter. One of the things, let me just give you a little bit of my vegetarian history. When I was 18 years old, I gave up all meat. No fish, no chicken, no beef, nothing. I did still eat cheese and eggs at that time. I maintained that for probably, well, clear up until the time I got married and joined the Army, which was the age of 23. So 5 years, I was a vegetarian strict. Very annoying, actually, to a lot of people. Hey, look, we have guests. You're on the show!
I have trouble being a vegetarian because it takes too much thinking.
Yeah, there is a lot of thinking. Because our culture is so wrapped around meat.
Yes.
It's hard to be a vegetarian because our culture is so meat-driven. You know, what's for dinner? Beef.
And that's what my parents raised me as, so I don't
have
to think about it.
Right, yeah. And that's part of our culture. Meat and I came from the Midwest, so meat and potatoes, corn. That was, every meal was meat and potatoes and corn. So that's how I was raised as well. I absolutely love my childhood, but culturally, meat is a thing. So giving up meat was a little bit of a challenge. But from the age of 18 to 23, I was a strict vegetarian, only eggs and cheese at the time. I got married and joined the Army. That cured me for a while.
That'll cure you a lot.
And so for a while, I mean, when I joined the Army, you can, by the way, join the Army and be a vegetarian, but you catch a lot of flack for it, and they do not like wheeling out that special salad cart just for you. One guy in our basic training did that, and he didn't have as good a he didn't end up staying in the Army. But, yeah, I wasn't going to be that guy because I wanted to just do what I needed to do. And it's too bad that that's the case, but that's how it was. Maybe not now. I don't know. That was quite a few years ago. But anyway, so then I did again several times after that attempt to be a vegetarian. And for a year or so at a time, here and there, I would try it. And it just kind of came and went. But now that my daughter, she's 14, she says, I don't want to eat meat. I was like, great, I support that, and I'm going to join you. So the family now is joining in that together, and that's Luke doesn't like meat anyway, so that's no big deal for him. And
how about Espen?
Espen loves meat.
He gets his when he goes out.
He absolutely. Espen is 18 now, and he can drive and do his own thing. So when he's at home, he eats the bean burgers and the quesadillas or the tacos or whatever that we have that are meatless, but when he goes out, he eats meat, and that's his choice. That's what he's allowed to do that. Kiltig,
a lot of my meals are meatless, but just because the things that I make, my husband likes very spicy, and I'm allergic to spicy stuff, so I make his with the spice, and then I make myself a vegetative difference.
Yeah.
My tacos always have refried beans, but no meat. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the same way we do tacos, is mostly with either black beans or refried beans, sometimes both. And
I
all
like
the toppings.
refried black beans.
Yes, refried.
Say that 3 times.
Refried blah blah. Okay, so we got questions about the mulcher. Do you mind sharing what leaf mulcher you bought? I don't mind. It is called Worx, W-R-X. I'm not promoting it at any point right now because I don't know anything about it. I bought it based on some reviews. It seemed like a decent one. I like how it fits together, so I'm going to try it. It's actually still sitting in the box, so I can't promote it, but that's the one I bought. And yeah, we'll see how it works. I'll put it on a video at some point. Stringed mulcher. It is a string. I believe it has the weed whacker type strings in it instead of blades. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting. Renato says, 2 of my kids don't eat meat. As a family, we're eating less meat and eating more veggies. Even if someone doesn't agree with being a vegetarian, I think it is wise, especially in this culture, the American culture. I think we eat way too much meat. Less meat, more veggies, more beans, things like that. I think that's just a good diet choice. Not preaching, I'm just saying that's my opinion. All right. Yes, Appy Lover, what do you do with your horse poo? Can you do a show about composting that? I will. In fact, I plan on doing that at some point. I can't promise timing because I'm struggling to get one video a week out between live shows. But yes, I do want to show how I'm managing the horse poo, and part of that will be in composting. And mulching up the leaves is a part of that because I need more carbon. And so I have bags and bags and bags of carbon. But when you compost full leaves, especially live oak leaves, I don't know if you're familiar with live oak leaves. They're very... Here, I'll show you right here. I got them dropping right above my head. They're small, but they're very thick, very crunchy. Okay, and they have a lot of mass to them as far as thickness. They don't break down very quickly, so they don't. Man, I'm having a hard time talking this morning altogether.
Slow down, take a drink of coffee. There you go.
All right, more coffee. Maybe I've had too much.
Yeah, you can never have too much coffee. Says the double-fisted drinker today.
So the live oak leaves are they're perfect for putting around as a long-term mulch because they do last so long, but they're not perfect for compost because they last so long. So that's part of the breaking down process that I'm going to do is blend them up and make really small leaves. I have a combination of, in the bags, there a lot of red oak leaves and many bags of the live oak leaves. So I love them. In fact, I have a theory about the live oak leaves, and I don't know that I'm accurate, but when I started putting live oak leaves mulch into my garden hole, my roly-poly or pill bug issues went away. Coincidence? I don't know. But actually Todd, who's here walking around the back of the farm, he's going to do that experiment in his garden and to see, because he has a bit of a roly-poly problem, and he's going to see if adding live oak leaves to his garden helps that go away. Because if it does, if it helps, I was going to bring him over here.
I don't think I've seen a roly-poly on my property.
No?
Not anywhere.
Well, that's good because
It's
they
amazing.
tear up your plants.
Yeah, I know.
And if you ever do see a concentration of roly-polies in the garden, do the experiment, put live oak leaves around the plants,
I'll have to get some from
and
you.
see if they, yeah.
I have no live oak trees.
I'll give you a bag today. I'll put them in the back of your truck.
Cool.
And yeah, so it's an experiment it wasn't really an intended experiment in my garden, but it seemed to work. I have virtually no roly-polies in the garden anymore, and if you watch some of my older videos, you know that I had a serious problem there for a while. All right, I'm going to scroll through. I think I'm way behind. Food Forest Permaculture. Luke has snail mail from Food Forest Permaculture. Happy Easter, everyone. You're on your way to being loved by Mother Nature. Oh, shucks. Luke will be very excited to see that mail. Thank you very much. All right, let's see here. The rooster is talking. Make sure I don't eat him. I don't eat them. Well, I have in the past. There have been a few roosters that were a little too loud or a little too mean, and I did, in fact, eat them. But we're not eating it anymore. We're not eating chicken anymore, so they're all safe. The Nectar Bar. So there's a number after your channel. Oh, this is an easy question. There's a number after your channel name on Steemit. What does that mean? That is a reputation score. So the more votes that you get on Steemit, the more interaction, the more positive interaction that you get on Steemit, that number goes up. The higher that number is, it indicates that you are safe and trustworthy on Steemit. For those people who have a very low score, especially below 25, that means that you have you've rocked the boat too much, and the Steemit community is not appreciating that, and they're downvoting you. And everyone starts at 25, so if anyone is ever below 25, that means that you've made some mistakes on the community. So it's just it's a reputation score. My Vizsla says that her stringed mulcher just kept plugging up. That's, you know, I am curious to know if the stringed mulcher can keep up with, you know, mulching all those leaves, but we're going to find out. I was, from all the reviews that I read, this one seemed to be a good one, so I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see. Constance McAllister, I'm a veg too. Love to see the animals, not eat them. Yeah. We do love the animals. And I never did really, I never liked butchering, never did. I got good at the process of it, but I never got good at feeling good about it. Yeah, where's the beef got milk? Exactly. I am not chastising anyone that eats meat, by the way. Lots of people do, and that is totally your choice. And it's just, this is just something our family is doing for a lot of different reasons. Trish got up for coffee and was looking for the pause button. Sorry, you're live. I'm live. If you watch it in replay, you can do pause. All right. Man, lots of good conversation. I really love seeing the chat here, and that's when I get quiet and I start looking at the screen. Especially when you see me come in like this, I'm scrolling on screen. What's the name of the leaf mulcher? I don't know the exact full name, but it's WRX is the brand name. Works. We'll see if it works. Worm Turns Florida. Good morning. Yeah, pinto beans go good with ribeye steaks. I agree. Just not eating the steaks. I gave up beef years and years ago, and that was just a health, a health choice at the time. Beef and pork. It's been years since I've had that.
Please tell Xavier how the bees are doing.
Oh. All right, Xavier, I'll answer your question. How are the bees doing? The bees are doing well. I actually meant to get out there yesterday. I say this every week, don't I? I meant to get out yesterday, but I'm going to get out there today because one of them, I believe, needs a new box on top. But I went out last night and just stood there and watched. It's mesmerizing watching the bees come and go. So I stood there and watched, and there was so much activity at all the beehive entrances. I couldn't believe. It was like a very busy airport, all the planes coming and going. It was amazing. So the bees are doing well. I still have 3 hives, and I hope soon to add more hives. I still have plans on building the top bar hives inspired by Paul Otis with his white hive stripe and hive white. I'm going to do hive stripes and stars. Forgot what our flag had on it there for a minute. Stars and stripes. We're going to do that here on the Daddy Curbs farm. Eventually, soon, hopefully, we're going to have 2 of the top bar hives, stars and stripes. So, yeah, the bees are doing great. I'm glad you're interested in that.
When you get ready to do your top bar hives, I've got lots of tongue depressors to use. So don't buy any.
Oh, for the strips?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So don't buy any. I've got a ton of them.
Good, okay. Lots of conversation. I am so far behind. Tim Turner puts sawdust from his shop in the garden. That's good. Sawdust is one of the best best I say because it's really small, carbon sources for your compost pile. It's nice to add other sources of carbon as well, just because of the variety of the minerals and things that are in them. But sawdust is a beautiful carbon source because it's so small. Yeah, Time to Sow is mentioning that there are some local sources for chips and mulch. And yeah, the municipalities, the cities, a lot of times will have a place where you can come pick it up for free. They get it from the, when they trim the streets, the trees above the streets and places like that, and they mulch it and they put it in big piles.
Here come Candace and...
Hey, did you put those leaves in the garden yet?
Some of it, yeah, in our potatoes.
Have you noticed anything?
It's a little bit better.
Good. Can I put you on?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So here's Todd. Here's Candace. Woo! All right. Tell us about the leaves in the garden.
We put oak leaves in the only place we have it right now is our strawberry beds, and we have noticed a lot fewer pill bugs.
Nice.
We have red strawberries. One has gotten pill bugs, but we're trying to let them ripen. But I only noticed a couple of pill, real tiny ones.
Yeah, they
Nice.
would've been gone by now.
Yeah, they would have been toast. Because we have
They're red.
a tremendous problem.
So is it? So it's not. It could be a real deal that the live oak leaves are not a nice environment for the pill bugs, and they're leaving.
I think so.
That would be wonderful.
And
The
we're gonna
nectar
try
bar
out some
says
other
good
areas.
morning to you two.
Good morning.
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
people are saying some really nasty things about you.
That's
I'm just
right.
kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, probably is.
So that's
yeah, it's she was very reluctant.
yeah, because it doesn't look pretty.
Well, I don't care about pretty, because I've always heard it harbors pests.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they'll hide under, like they tell you to clear out the leaf litter in winter, because like the vine borer likes to hide under that stuff. So I was
Yeah.
very leery about it. So we did a little test with the strawberries.
Yeah. Now I've read some of that stuff in the past too about things hiding in the mulch, but in nature, it's mulched.
Right.
I mean, that's what nature does.
Like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're standing on it, exactly. So when I started putting the leaves, what I noticed for me when I put things like pecan leaves, the roly-polies love that. It's a nice, mulchy, soft
Yeah.
environment. But
Thin, flat.
exactly. But the I think the coarseness and the thickness of the live oak leaves is just not a nice environment for
and the
them.
curled edges, I think.
Yeah, it might
has
be.
to go
So it was like
up
a
and around.
tilt-a-whirl for them, so
Yeah.
they might not like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a carnival ride for them.
Yeah.
They have weak stomachs.
Wish they had
Yeah.
big stomachs.
Yeah, right. But they do love strawberries.
They do.
Can you use diatomaceous earth to keep down rollies?
Can, if it doesn't rain.
We have never had a good success with that. Though.
Yeah, diatomaceous earth for me had very minimal effect on the roly-polies.
Okay. I was just wondering because I know you can use it on bugs with exoskeletons.
Yes.
And roly-polies have that.
I do notice that ants like to stay away from it
Yeah.
when it's not rained on.
I think they have to be smaller. Like these are crustaceans, and so they
Yeah.
have that real hard shell on. them.
Right.
And
Basically, the crustaceans, the roly-polies, they can't be submerged in water. Actually, that's not. Did I just talk out of my rear end there? What was it? There was
well, they
something
can't
about
be,
the,
because I've used beer traps before.
and they have to breathe. They like moist, but not totally wet. So they have to have that nice moist environment. And I think maybe just the live oak leaves being dry and crusty is just not preferred. I don't know.
Julie said
That's right. We do. We just don't have any live oaks.
one
We
of
got
our
tons of
viewers
it.
said it might be the oil in the leaves that chases away the rollies.
Huh. That could
It's
be-
possible.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible. It's just an interesting observation, and I'm glad to know that someone else is having a similar experience.
Yeah. Jeannie, the tomato lady, she has the same experience too.
Oh, really? She puts live oak leaves in to keep the roly-polies out?
Yeah. She says it keeps them down.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got 2 of those big bags you turned us on to, and I've seen a bunch of others that we want to go pick up.
Yeah, there's so many out there right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because we have millions. And we tried spinosad, which is supposed to be the, I guess, best, solution for an organic garden for roly-polies, and
Didn't work.
it did, but they came right back. I
Oh.
don't know I don't know if it killed them or just drove them away, and then they returned. So and that's expensive too. It was $25 for a bottle for one season. That's just too much. So we're done with that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try the oak leaves.
Yeah. So the live oak leaves, the live oak leaves are free, abundant, and if it works, then that's fantastic.
The only thing I was hesitant about was because it looked like they pulled them out of the yard. I didn't know if they put like a herbicide in there. So we tested them on the strawberries. They seem to be fine, so we're going to put them on the rest of the
Good. Yeah, the bags that you got came from a church, so I suspect that they're not out sprayed a bunch of stuff.
The folks are saying, please come closer to the mic. They can't
Oh,
hear
they
you.
can't hear you. I'm sorry. Here, just stand behind me. Yeah, come over here.
I'd move over, but I think my chair's stuck in
Yeah,
the dirt.
your plants.
I didn't think about the microphone being facing me and not them. Sorry. So do we have to say all of that again?
Right.
Probably not.
All right, Todd, you can't.
Oak
All
leaves
right.
good.
Yes. Oak
There,
leaves work.
there's the summary. The live oak leaves, their experience with the live oak leaves for roly-polies has been positive, meaning that the roly-polies appear to be leaving, which is the same experience that I had in my garden. And a very trusted local gardener, Jeannie, who grows the tomatoes, she's been gardening for a long time, and is having the same experience. So if you have a source for live oak leaves and you're having a roly-poly problem, try it out. See if it works. I think it's definitely worth the experiment. And so we're going to get Kate started on that as well.
Yes. I'll
right.
try it too, although I have not seen a roly-poly on my 2 acres at all.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. She didn't have
Stop
roly-polies.
bragging.
yeah.
Oh,
Please.
but that doesn't mean I don't have them. It just means I haven't
Yeah,
seen them.
see
Right.
'em.
Well, if you
can
have
see 'em
if
around your plants.
if you have any fresh little tender veggies, you would see them
Well,
because
that may
they
be
love
what
it.
ate my okra last year because I lost 60 okra plants overnight.
wow.
Oh gosh.
Ooh, that's
that
a lot.
could
That
be-
could have been
that
it.
could be
They
what
can
I
do
did.
some damage overnight.
Yeah, they really
green
can.
beans,
Yeah, for those, I have a video, an old video on my channel about many people believe roly-polies, which are the pill bugs, whatever the real name for those are, I don't know. Many people believe that those little critters do not eat green plants.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. They absolutely do eat green plants and red strawberries.
Oh
Yeah.
They love those. Yeah, so the roly-polies are a major pest and frustration, and a lot of people resort to poisons because of that. And I think just that I accidentally stumbled onto, and they're experiencing, and with Jeannie's vote of confidence, I think it's worth
It's
sharing.
worth a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been told thank you for moving closer.
Oh.
They can now hear you.
Oh, sorry about the audio there. I wasn't even considering that the microphone, the fuzzy microphone that I have on my phone works beautifully, but it's pointed toward me. All right. So thank you guys.
Yeah, you bet. We're gonna go build a pizza oven now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I could keep it safe for you for
Yeah. 2 years.
2 years.
A year and a half.
All right.
Thanks.
We
gotta
did make
take
some good
care.
pizzas in it.
Yeah, we did.
So now we'll have to come over and visit when we want
That's
pizza.
right. Well, we were just talking about making mulberry jam.
Oh, nice. Did you get some mulberries?
We tasted them and they were really good.
Awesome.
And
The pipes that you have going over
we
the
taled
front
about
of the
coming and
walkway.
picking together.
Yeah.
And we'll go back and make some
Yeah.
jam together.
That sounds fantastic. That sounds like a video.
This sounds like a great video.
Awesome. Hey, you guys have a great weekend.
Passion.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Wow, that was fun. Impromptu special guests. The Nectar Bar says, I have a customer that has bee issues. Can I refer him to you for questions? Yeah, I can't promise that I can answer him, but I'll take questions. Sometimes gardeners and farmers need to sit on a bucket in a field and just listen. I absolutely agree. The skill of observation is greatly not practiced. I mean, there are so many people that just... I'm trying to get you in the frame here, Kate.
Oh, let me dig the chair out of the mud and come back.
The observation, yes, that actually is framed up nicely. observation in the field, in the garden, for your bees, all those things. Pretty much anything that you do with nature, I think, requires a lot of quiet time. You need to get out there, relax, shut your thoughts down a little bit, meditate a little bit, just watch what's happening, listen to what's happening, watch the interaction, and learn from nature. Nature will teach you many, many things. You just have to be willing to slow down and listen and watch nature to learn that. I believe that. I have spent so much time just sitting out there. Sometimes my wife will ask, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm observing." "Yeah, but for so long?" Yeah, that's what I do. I go out and I'll just stand silent and observe and listen and just to see what's going on.
And one of the viewers brought up that you have to make the time to do that.
Yes,
It's important.
it really is important. Hey, Todd and Candace. See, that's how far behind I am.
Oh,
Hey, guys. Now they're out. They're taking my little blue truck home to drive that pizza oven back to their house.
do you know about a good deterrent in the garden for rabbits and deer?
Deer, that's a tough one. I had someone ask actually recently about deer. I don't have a big deer problem, but here's my opinion. Of course, it's just an opinion because I don't have a lot of experience with it. But deer like to move as they forage. They don't like to stay in one place for very long. That probably has something to do with them being a prey animal. So my suggestion is when you have a garden or an orchard or some collection of plants that you don't want your deer to have, is to give them something on the perimeter that they can browse on as they move around. Give them something to do as they move. Oh, coffee. I didn't lose it. That's why we have adult sippy cups.
Yes.
Yeah, so the deer, they browse and eat, and so having some sort of perimeter of something that they can eat, I don't even know what that would be, but some hedge of something that they can browse on as they move around. Give them a perimeter, give them direction, help them move around and beyond the things that you want them to eat. Otherwise, a good tall fence. I mean, deer can jump really high, so you might need a 7 or 8 foot tall fence around your orchard or garden.
Tim Turner says spread human hair around the perimeter and the deer won't pass over.
I have heard that as well. I don't know that by experience, but if you get a good haircut, or a bad haircut, as long as there's hair on the floor, go out there and spread it around the perimeter of your space and see if it works.
Alert.
Uh-oh. I'm not caught up yet. Sasha Fernandez, I missed. Do you crush the leaves or keep them whole? I'm assuming that you're talking about as a mulch in the garden for the roly-polies. I keep them whole. For that purpose, it might work if they're crushed, but I've only experimented with using these leaves as a whole mulch. Trying to catch up. Live and learn, I see that. The tannins and the acids, the music well. It could be. I don't really know what about the live oak leaves keeps those roly-polies from wanting to come around, but it appears to keep them out. You would think, just logic says that it would give them a nicer place to live, but they actually appear not to like it. They did like the pecan leaves, and I will not use pecan leaves to mulch in the garden simply because it seemed like a lot of things really like the pecan leaves. Any ideas on getting rid of groundhogs? I don't know. I don't have any groundhogs. I'm curious, now wondering, this is from Julie Ankeny, if blue oak leaves would do the same. Wow, I don't know. Do we have blue oak?
Not that I know of.
I don't think we have blue oak. We have
We
the
have
red
bur oaks
bur
and
oak,
live
red oak, white oaks,
and live oaks.
live oak, Monterey oak, chinkapin oak, lots of oak, but I don't think we have any blue oak. Let's see here.
It is 9:55.
Oh my goodness, we are 55 minutes in.
Yes.
That's what happens when we're having fun.
And you have surprise guests.
Yes, I had surprise guests. I have notes. I think I hit most of it. Yeah, we'll save the rest of the notes that I hadn't talked about for next week.
Tim says for groundhogs, you put a windmill in the yard nearby, and the vibrations will make them go away.
Oh, that's an interesting.
I've heard that before.
Hmm.
And the windmill, if you can hook it up to something that slaps against the upright of the windmill, that makes the vibrations louder, I'm told.
Wow.
Which scares them away. And it works for voles as well.
That would be an interesting thing to experiment and see if that happens, see if it works. But probably draws the earthworms to the top, because don't they come up with vibrations? That's interesting. And Trish with the squirrel, $10. Thank you, Trish, so much for supporting the Daddy Curbs Farm, the creative efforts here, and just participating in the community. I truly do appreciate those things. Oh, Drake left. I hope I answered all her questions. Hey, Drake, you're not here, but if you watch it in replay, you can call me or text me or come over and visit and see your garden.
Yeah.
A billy bass, Sam, I made it to the bottom. A billy bass hooked up to the garden will scare them.
What is a billy bass?
That's one of those musical bass that hangs on the wall. It's motion sensitive.
Oh, okay.
And it sings a song, starts moving and sings a song. They're pretty funny.
Huh. Okay.
I've heard and seen on videos and read on forums and stuff that people will use pretty much any of those motion sensitive toys or displays for keeping critters away from their chicken coops or out of the gardens. It's an interesting concept, especially, you know, I think about the, like in Halloween, they have the scary monsters and witches and things that move. Their hands move and their eyes light up and they start laughing or cackling. Or that would be a really funny thing to have out on the property to keep the critters away. I wouldn't want that in my garden though, because if I ever go out to my garden at nighttime, that would probably make me wet my pants, because that would scare me. I wouldn't want to see that in the middle of the night. Man, I am so shocked actually that we're 57 minutes in. This has been a really fun time. You guys are a lot of fun, and I appreciate you being here. I don't have a lot else. Actually, I have a lot to talk about, but we're going to save that for another day. I truly do appreciate you being here. I love the fact that you guys are joining in it on the family conversation, which, by the way, is a closed Facebook group for the fans of the Daddy Curbs content to come together as a family. It's FANILY. There's probably been links already put up to that. If not, WeTree will probably drop that in the chat in just a moment. And yeah, just those of you who are on Patreon, joining as patrons, those of you who are on Steemit to join the community over there. It is a lot of fun to start learning about who you are and your story, because I truly do believe that everyone has a story, and every story counts. And I love learning more about who you are, what you do, how you garden, how you homestead, what animals do you raise, and just some of the experiments, some of the things that you do. Many of you have way more experience than I do on a lot of this. I've only been here on the homestead, on this homestead, for now 7 years. And yeah, I'm learning, but there's a lot of people who have so much more experience with all of these things that I do, the chickens and the ducks and the goats and the horses and the gardens, the orchards, the bees and all those things, the kitchen activities, the fermenting food. You guys are so good at many of these things, and I love having you in my community so that I can learn and we can learn from each other. Thank you so much for this time this morning. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.